guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shell and I'm a homeschooling mom of two here in Texas. If you're just joining me for the first time, I only have one other video out, but it isn't about me, about our homeschool, and just a little background about my family. If you're interested, you can check out that video. I'll have the link down below. Today, I just wanted to do a quick run through of the curriculum that I've chosen. So we're already in week 3, and I figured if I don't do this video now, I'll never do it. But if you haven't started school yet, or you're still trying to figure it out, or you're pulling your kids out of public school, which is what I did, maybe this will be helpful. I'm gonna just give you a real quick rundown of why we chose what we chose and all the different subjects. So, okay, here we go. So the first subject I'm gonna talk about is our Bible. We do not have a particular Bible curriculum, although I am on the hunt for one. I am currently looking at the Answers in Genesis one and a few others. So for now, we're just using a few books that I love. This first one I cannot recommend enough. I wish I remembered who, I think it was Simply Living It that had recommended this. She had posted it in her Instagram stories. This book is basically set up to where you can just do, literally, it can take 5 minutes and it tells you the world says, what God says, and then a description of how what we believe, because we're Bible believers, is different than what the world says, and it gives 2 different Bible verses down here. This one is the world says love is a feeling, God says love is a decision. Tomorrow we'll be doing the world says don't be holier than thou, God says be holy as I am holy. And you can see how thick this book is, and it is a gem. This book I will have forever. I'll try to put the link below, although I can only usually find 1 or 2 on Amazon. So if it's there, I would scoop it up. The second one we're using is from Revival Journals. Now this, I don't think was ever meant to be a Bible curriculum, or at least not the way that they've redone this and made it into a journal, but this is an old book called Reading the Bible at Home by Mrs. S.H. Askew. And you can see here that it basically just like a little paragraph, and it's talking about reading Matthew and what you've read in it. It just goes over it. It talks about how there's like a Bible, or like there's a Bible and the books of the Bible, the chapter, the verse. It breaks that down for the kids. So again, this is super short, so you could just do from here to here, and that's your Bible lesson for the day. And then I love this because it just has blank pages in here as well. I don't know that I'll ever be able to write on those because I just love this book so much, but maybe someday. And here's the card. It's Revival Journals. Really cool bookstore. Rescued and Redeemed Books. And then the last thing, again, love this book so much. I love all of these, but this one in particular is kind of a family devotional written by Clay Clarkson, who is Sally Clarkson's husband. This is called Our 24 Family Ways, a family devotional guide. Basically, I also have their 24 Family Ways printed out up on our bulletin board. These are them right here. So it breaks it down in sections. We have concerning the authorities in our family, concerning the relationships, possessions, work, attitudes, and choices. And then, for example, the authorities, we love and obey our Lord Jesus Christ. We honor and obey our parents. And then it goes down to relationships. We love one another, we serve one another, we encourage one another, etc. So you can go, that's just the overview. This is what it actually looks like for the day-to-day. So you see day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. And then you have some Bible reading and some other things to talk about, group discussion. It's great for 1 kid, multiple kids, all that. So these are 3 Bible curriculum picks for this year, books for this year, picks, I don't know what I'm talking about. And I hope to add a more official curriculum to that. Okay, next up, I have our main curriculum, and it comes from The Good and the Beautiful. This is, listen, you don't need me to do a review about The Good and the Beautiful. There's 1,000 reviews on YouTube about it, but this is our like bulk curriculum. We use this every day, and there's one for my son, one for my daughter, and we have this little, I think this is the course book, which is what I do with my son. We love this curriculum. It really truly teaches so many different subjects, and if I get in here, I think it will actually list out subjects covered in this course. It says reading, literature, spelling, writing, punctuation, vocabulary, geography, art appreciation, art instruction, grammar and usage, and I would say character too. So this is what here's an example of some of the geography that's interwoven with the language arts, of course. There's always reading, literature involved, art, etc. So that's the course book. Every day I'll do that with my son. This is a level 4. And then he will go do the independent work in this workshop book. And so this is just his little, we kind of started already, but it's like a writing workshop. It goes writing and then it'll switch to spelling. And sorry, I'm pretty sure this will be backwards because I'm filming on my phone, but you can see that it just kind of goes over some of the more like written things that you would do in language arts. And so yeah, more writing, spelling, sentence diagramming, that sort of thing. It also comes with 2 of these, the level 4 does at least. It's a little bit different for my daughter who is level 6, but it comes with this level 4 reader, has different stories in here, short stories. And then this is the level 4 world biographies. We have not got to this yet, but I'm excited too because I am history, biography nerd, I would say. So looking forward to reading that with him. So yeah, so that's our language arts. We did The Good and the Beautiful last year. I can't see us changing to anything else, maybe once my daughter gets into high school, but that's pretty much what I plan to be using for. Next up, we have our science curriculum. And I will say science is our like very flexible subject where if we have a busy day or we can't get to it or we just need to rest or chill, science is always the one that gets help. We always hold off on. So I actually bought these last year and we plan to start with the world of plants. These are called God's Design by, you can go to godsdesign.com. They're from a company called Answers in Genesis. Ken Ham, huge fan of him. If you know anything about his ministry, the Ark Encounter, he is the one that does these curriculums, his company. And I will just say, don't start with the world of plants unless you guys are really into that, because we only got through a few lessons last year and it was just a little rough. My kids were younger and it's a little bit higher level science. So you can see the stuff like this, classifications of plants. However, I decided we have to do science this year and I wanted to use these because I love them. They have a biblical worldview. And so I was like, let's start with the world of animals. My kids love animals. They have many, many pets. And we're making a lot better progress. I'll just put it that way. So it's interesting for me. It's interesting for them. This is one lesson and I basically read this to them or they can read it themselves. We talk about what we learned. We take it a little bit further. You can play, in this blue part will have always like a little activity, and then the green part will have some extra information. Then you can print these little worksheets and tests and quizzes. This is for the human body part section. They are human body parts as well, but here are all the, quizzes and stuff that I have printed out and bound in a book for them. So I just love that setup. It's super simple and it's something that I just think that we can learn together. Like, this is so awesome. I'm so excited for my kids to learn about this stuff. So I would say it's a little bit higher level science. I would not start it until probably 4th if your kid is a little bit advanced, 5th grade most likely, 5th through 7th, even maybe into 8th. So excited about this. And I feel like I was gonna say something else about this. Oh, so they have other sets of 3 books. So we have the human body, we have the world of animals and the world of plants. So living things. And they also have, that will last us the full year. But they also have like the weather, the universe, planet Earth. These are the other sets that you can do if you choose not to do the animals and plants and human body. So huge fan of Answers in Genesis, love supporting them. And let's move on. Okay, so moving on to our history. This is our 2nd year using, again, the same history curriculum, just like language arts and the science. I feel like I made good choices last year as a new homeschool mom, and I really like what I chose and I don't really want to change it up. So we are continuing with the Knotgrass history. This is the one, I probably should have this in my lap, but this is what we're using. And I will say, unlike the science, this is a lower level. So like my daughter's in 7th grade and this is just a little bit, maybe just a little bit below her level or what she's capable of, but we're just doing history as a very relaxed subject this year. I love the Knotgrass books. They're beautiful. You could just, we just read them. It takes about 15-20 minutes to read a little story. So for example, this is Helen Keller's story. Lots of real historical pictures, artifacts in here. I love that. It's like living history. And then you can see here some more info. So I'd read that page, this page, and this page. That's what I read in a day. And I think soon, although my daughter's in the room listening to me right now, I'll probably start making them take notes, teaching them how to take notes, listen for important keywords and stuff like that, because I feel like I could just go through this whole book and then I just want them to be able to retain it as much as possible. So It does have some review questions here, activities, comes with 2 of these books. We did one of them last year. I think they're actually both meant to be done in 1 year, but we gave ourselves some grace last year, our first year, and only did 1. So we'll probably finish this by Christmas. It also comes with this it's just super high quality stuff. This timeline book. We don't use this as much, but I will probably show this to my kids at the end of the week and just review what we've learned in each lesson for the week. Again, super pretty, great for visual learners. It also comes, and I love this one. My kids think it's kind of cringy because they're too cool, but we get a kick out of it. It's the Rhythms and Rhymes book. So each lesson comes with a song to listen to. I have a CD player over here, and I'll play this little song for them. It goes with the lesson, or was written by someone that the lesson was about, or something like that. There's hymns, all sorts of things. Some famous songs that you guys would recognize, some that you have never heard of before. And then it gives you a little information about the song and the history of the song. So I like that you have the lesson, the pictures, the timeline, the songs, and then you also have this little workbook, which depending on the day I usually do the reviews with them, and sometimes I'll just do them auditorily. Like, is auditorily a word? We'll do it by listening. Like, I'll just read these questions to them, and then they'll answer out loud. So, yeah, there's a lot of drawing, spaces for drawing. My kids they're just not gonna do that. But I do like the review aspect of it. So we use that. So that's all for history. I think I'm gonna move on to our real quick and easy subjects, which are geography, handwriting, and spelling. So the next subjects are these 3 here. We have our Evan Moore Geography. This is the North America book. We have our Spelling You Can See, Ancient Achievements, and then our handwriting, which comes with the Good and the Beautiful. It's an add-on, and I chose to grab this because I want my kids to learn cursive. So we're doing that. Let me start off with, the handwriting is very simple. They love it. It's a great filler. It's important. I want them to learn it, but like if I'm helping one kid with one thing, I can say, hey, go do your handwriting. Or if I'm doing dishes in the morning or whatever it is, I can say, hey, start your handwriting, gets you in the swing of things. So this is kind of more like a little morning workup warm up that we do. And yeah, they did it last year. They like it. It's quick and easy, but important. So the next one is the Spelling You See. Again, this is a 2-book set, and it's supposed to be for 1 year, but my kids just did one of these last year, and so we had this one left over. And this actually goes great with the Next Level Up Knotgrass, which is this one for my older daughter, or for my daughter. Only have one. This one goes great with her Knotgrass. What's it called? The From Adam to Us series. So somehow these stories align really well with the Knotgrass history stories in that for that grade level. And then my son's is a different one, but his they're like American stuff, and somehow the spelling lessons go along really well with his Knotgrass history that we're doing this year. So basically it just goes like this. There's some copy work, there's a paragraph they have to read. It's educational, it's not just fluff. They do actually learn something, and then they will go and write it right here. I check the spelling, and then they will highlight certain parts. It changes every day. Today she didn't finish, but she needs to do the endings here, and she'll highlight them in pink, and I will check them. And it goes for all different things. So let's get past the endings part. So in this section, well, she'll probably cringe, but it's like vowel chunks, consonant chunks, bossy R's, and endings of words. She'll highlight and separate from this paragraph. So love this. Again, it's a great thing. It's super important. Repetition, copy work, handwriting, spelling, all in one, but it's something I can say, hey, go do your spelling, and I just have to check it when she's done. So it's great for the mornings or for the afternoons when your kids are not wanting to do the heavy lifting of homeschool. Okay, this is my favorite. I knew last year, after going over our history and just doing some things, talking to my kids, being around my kids while they're learning, I was like, there is a gap in a few things. Math is one of them, but geography. The gap was somewhat alarming. And again, my kids are pulled from public school, and for my daughter for 6 years, from kindergarten to 5th grade, was in a Spanish immersion program. My son was in it from kindergarten to 3rd, so for 4 years. They had one teacher that spoke English and one teacher that spoke Spanish. So on Mondays they go to English, Tuesday they go to Spanish. Wednesday they go to English, Thursday they go to Spanish. like that all year long for all those years. And on the days that they were in Spanish, they would learn every single subject completely in Spanish. So although it's been 2 years since my daughter's been there because of homeschooling, at one point she literally was basically fluent for her age in Spanish, which is a gift and a blessing, and I'm so thankful for that. However, I think there were some basic things that through the elementary school years were missed, because translating things like geography and especially math, I think that can get really challenging. She did great, made good grades, but I still think there's just a few things. I have nothing bad to say about the Spanish immersion program. I'm just thankful that I'm able to now like grab my kids and be like, okay, we need to like fill in these gaps here. You know, it's kind of a balancing act. So they can speak Spanish. I mean, my daughter has actually, there was someone that walked into the Whole Foods that we were at and he was confused and he had his phone, and a man at one point said, hey, does anyone speak Spanish here? And my daughter was able to go over to this man, understand what he was saying, and then speak Spanish back to him and help him out because he was lost or confused or something. I didn't know what they were talking about exactly, but so that was like truly a blessing. But now, sorry, that was a little tangent. Now I knew after last year that geography was something we need to focus on. I love Evan Moore. Like I know workbooks aren't really that popular in the homeschool world, but we did their Evan Moore critical thinking last year, and I love their curriculum. So this is a set, I didn't get the set, but it has the 7 continents. Obviously we started with North America for the obvious reasons. So what I love about Evan Moore is that it's very similar to the way that my brain works. It starts with the big picture and then works down from there into more specific details. I feel like in school, a lot of the times I was learning like the opposite. I was learning the opposite way, where it'd go from detailed stuff and then I'd be like, oh, what are we even talking about? Or what was that about? So I don't want my kids to have that same confusion that I felt. And I love that Evan Moore just kind of correlates with that. So we started with just the basic geography. Again, I will read these lessons to them, and then they will, I'll usually copy a page for myself. So my son and daughter have a workbook, and then I'll copy a page. I read it while they're reading along with me. And then they will do the work that goes alongside of it. And the work is different every day. Like sometimes it's, for example, the first section is mapping, learn about latitude, longitude, north, south, east, and west, the degrees, how we're in the northwest hemisphere, all that fun stuff. The prime meridian, the equator, all that. And then it goes on to the political divisions of North America. So we're talking about the regions, you know, Canada, America, Central America, Mexico, the Caribbean, and all that stuff. So we're doing, they didn't have us do this, but I had them section this off, color it. My kids have had a hard time, not so much one of my kids, but one of my other ones, still trying to figure out, you know, where things are on the map. So I'm so glad we're practicing that, answering some questions. And then it goes all the way to physical features of North America. So we'll be learning about rivers, lakes, mountain ranges. Here's some river stuff. I mean, this is just very thorough. Religions of North America, wildlife of North America, livestock, food. I mean, fossil fuel. I love this, and I hope we get to do more than one this year. I think we'll finish this the first semester and then go on to probably South America after that. So can't say enough good things. I know I've been rambling on for too long about this, but highly recommend this Evan Moore continent book. Okay, last but not least, we have our read-alouds that we do. We have already finished one that we had started last year. It's called Mountain Born, super cute book. It came with our Knotgrass history. So I forgot to mention in the history section that our Knotgrass history also came with a literature stack of like 7 books. Because we only got through half of the curriculum last year, we only got through half of the read-alouds. So we'll be doing the rest of them this year, plus I'm adding in a few of my own. This one that we're currently on is the one that I've added in just because it's something that I wanted to read to my children. And I have heard so many good things. These are The Christian Heroes Then and Now by YWAM Publishing. And so this, again, is a whole series. There's, you know, I don't know how many different missionary stories there are. I would say I've probably seen, you can see here's the list right here of all the different books that they have, just like this one, about their stories. We just started this today and we're already 2 chapters in and I'm obsessed. I love it. It's an adventure story. It is a biblical story. It is one of God using regular people to build his kingdom, and perfect for kids, perfect for grown-ups even, really. this will minister to you and your children both. So we'll do this. I also want to read some of the Sugar Creek Gang books. I've got one of them, the first one in that series for my son. We are going to read Hank the Cowdog just because we're a Texas family and proud of it. And those are just classic Texas books for kids. And then I think, yeah, I have a little art book. So we also do the Tuttle Twins books and the Nature Anatomy, those types of things for our read-alouds and free reading. So I can do a whole discussion on books because there's just so many that I want to read and get read while I have my kids with me. So that's it for our curriculum. You'll notice that I have left out math, and that is for good reason because, like I said earlier, one of those gaps that I needed to fill from pulling my kids out of public school, pulling them out of the Spanish immersion program, was the gap of math. And so I have decided that both of my kids did well in math. They got good grades in public school, but then I just noticed there was like taking extra time on things or having to like think about things for just a little bit too long, basic things. And I want to just have their mental math be so astoundingly good and so solid that I think doing a curriculum that's going to teach them, other things right now would be a waste of time. This is again what happened to me as a kid. I struggled in math so much because I never really got the basics down. Not good enough. I could get by, but not to the point where I felt confident. And let me tell you, if you don't feel confident in math, it's just going to be a downward slope from, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade into middle school and high school. Like you have to have the mental math, the basics so solid to be confident and a lifelong lover and learner of math. And I don't want my kids to experience the hatred that I had for math. So we're playing math games. I have multiplication bingo. We have flashcards that we're just going to do over and over and over, little bits by little bits. And then sometimes I'll just print out worksheets online that they'll do. Just like one of my favorite quotes from chiropractic school that one of my professors had was that repetition penetrates the dullest of minds. And although I do not think my kids have dull minds, I do think there's value in the repetition, especially for math. And so that's what I'm going with this year. If I feel like by the end of, by Christmas, we're good, I will bring back teaching textbooks or something similar that we had done last year. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I rambled on a lot longer than I thought I was going to about curriculum, but you can ask any homeschool mom. That's kind of our bread and butter. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions about any of the curriculum that we're using, feel free to leave a comment. And if you will, please like and subscribe to this very brand new baby channel of mine. And I will see you guys in the next video.